To understand deep thinkers, we must first step into the vast terrain of their inner world. Unlike those who skim the surface of life, they dwell in layers of reflection, tracing connections that often go unnoticed. Every experience, every conversation, every fleeting thought becomes a thread in a larger tapestry of meaning they are constantly weaving. This is not mere daydreaming. It is a disciplined engagement with the self and the world. In this inner landscape, questions take precedence over answers, and uncertainty is not feared but explored. Deep thinkers observe patterns in behavior, history, and nature, seeking the underlying principles that shape existence. Their minds are restless yet purposeful, wandering through abstractions while returning with insights that illuminate reality. But this richness comes at a cost. The intensity of thought can create a sense of solitude, a feeling of inhabiting a world that others rarely see. And yet it is precisely this depth that allows for creativity, wisdom, and profound empathy. To cultivate such an inner life is to embrace both the beauty and the burden of consciousness. In the end, the invitation is clear. Engage fully with your mind, for within its depths lie the maps to understanding yourself and the world around you. To be a deep thinker is to carry the dual weight of clarity and complexity. With heightened awareness comes the ability to perceive subtleties that often escape others' nuances in human behavior, contradictions in society, the unspoken currents of thought that shape our lives. This perception is a gift, allowing for empathy, insight, and moral discernment. Yet it is also a burden. To see the world more clearly is to see its flaws, its inconsistencies, its quiet suffering. Deep thinkers are often caught in the tension between understanding and the desire to act, between knowing and the impossibility of fully controlling outcomes. They experience the world more intensely, feeling its joys and sorrows with amplified sensitivity. This heightened consciousness can sometimes breed loneliness or anxiety, for not everyone is prepared to grapple with such depth. And yet it is precisely this struggle that cultivates wisdom. The tension between clarity and discomfort sharpens the mind, refines judgment, and deepens compassion. To embrace this duality is to live fully in awareness, acknowledging the weight of understanding without surrendering to despair. In recognizing both the blessing and the burden of heightened awareness, we are invited to navigate life with courage, presence, and conscious intention. For deep thinkers, intellect and emotion are not separate realms. They are intricately intertwined. To think deeply is to feel deeply, and this convergence shapes both perception and experience. Every idea carries with it an emotional resonance, every insight a subtle weight. This emotional complexity allows deep thinkers to grasp human nature with extraordinary nuance. They sense the undercurrents of motivation, the unspoken tensions that guide behavior, and the hidden layers of personal and collective experience. It is what makes them empathetic, intuitive, and capable of profound understanding. Yet this sensitivity also brings vulnerability. The intensity of thought magnifies emotional response, making the world sometimes feel overwhelming or painfully contradictory. Happiness and sorrow are experienced with equal depth, and the mind is never truly at rest, always reflecting, analyzing, and feeling. But within this tension lies great power. The fusion of thought and feeling cultivates creativity, moral insight, and a capacity for self-awareness that is rare in the ordinary course of life. To embrace this depth is to honor both mind and heart, recognizing that our emotional landscape is not a limitation, but the medium through which understanding, and ultimately wisdom, emerges. In feeling deeply, we discover the full spectrum of human existence. At the heart of deep thinking lies an unyielding quest for meaning. Deep thinkers are driven not merely to accumulate facts or solve problems, but to understand the why behind existence itself. They seek connections where others see randomness, striving to weave disparate experiences, ideas, and emotions into a coherent narrative that gives life purpose. This search for understanding is both personal and universal. It extends inward toward self, knowledge, and outward toward the patterns of society, history, and nature. It is a journey that demands patience, humility, and courage, for the truths uncovered are rarely simple, and the questions posed are often more significant than the answers found. Yet it is precisely this pursuit that grants deep thinkers a profound sense of engagement with the world. They do not settle for superficial explanations, but confront uncertainty with curiosity and reflection, recognizing that meaning emerges in the interplay between experience and insight. To embrace this path is to commit to a life of inquiry, where every observation and every reflection becomes a step toward self-understanding. In seeking meaning with sincerity, we transform not only how we perceive the world, but how we inhabit it, turning thought into a compass for living consciously. Solitude is not a mere absence of company for deep thinkers. It is a vital condition for thought itself. In the quiet spaces of being alone, they confront their own consciousness without distraction, tracing the contours of their mind and exploring ideas in their purest form. Solitude allows reflection to deepen, patterns to emerge, and insights that are often impossible in the noise of social life to take root. Yet this is not always comfortable. To sit with one's own thoughts is to face both clarity and contradiction, to observe the mind's labyrinthine pathways without escape. It is in this tension that growth occurs. Ideas are tested, beliefs questioned, and understanding sharpened. Far from mere isolation, solitude becomes a crucible in which intellect and emotion are refined together. The deep thinker learns to navigate silence, not as a void, but as fertile ground for discovery. In embracing this practice, we are reminded that the richness of our inner life cannot be outsourced or diluted. True insight is born in the space where reflection meets stillness, and in this stillness we find not emptiness, but the profound potential to know ourselves and the world more fully. One of the most profound challenges for deep thinkers is translating their inner complexity into the language of the world. Thoughts that are rich, nuanced, and intricate do not always fit neatly into conversation, social expectation, or conventional expression. The depth of perception that allows them to see hidden patterns, subtle motivations, and the intricacies of life can make communication feel like a constant negotiation between inner clarity and outer simplicity. This tension is not a flaw, but a reflection of the chasm that often exists between understanding and expression. Deep thinkers must learn patience, both with themselves and with those who cannot immediately follow their reasoning. They must cultivate the courage to speak truthfully, even when it risks misunderstanding, and the empathy to recognize that others' perspectives are shaped by different depths of experience. In this delicate balance lies the art of living deeply in the world without losing oneself to its superficiality. Mastery is not in forcing comprehension, but in bridging thought and action with sincerity. By embracing this challenge, we are called to express the fullness of our mind and heart, reminding us that the courage to share our inner world is, in itself, a transformative